makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON. Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as well.
Yeah, especially with the way you had it set up
On the million
right before.
best 50 conservative
That can be asking for trouble.
nation, and number 1 on Feedspot.com's 30 best conservative talk shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
It's America's political therapist. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, it is. Welcome back into the program. Great to have you today for your weekend edition. As usual, therifying you on a weekend basis. As always, I want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity. As you know, we're going through the 250th birthday of the nation, which is kind of awesome. Unlike what Iran's doing. Like what we did there. But no, we're celebrating the 250th birthday of the country, and we need to learn about the great history of this nation, the great people throughout history, the ways that they've risen to the challenges of their time, fighting for what's right as they continue to shape and craft America to what it is today, the greatest nation on the face of the earth. And we can learn from history on how we can do that as well to continue on that tradition and give us another 250 years of a golden age, which is what we want. I want you to go to a website at takeonesmallstep.com. TakeOneSmallStep.com. Put it all in there, all one word.com. TakeOneSmallStep.com. Sign up. It's completely free, and you can educate yourself, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your kids, your grandkids. But let's celebrate the 250th birthday with patriotism and the greatness of this nation, what's been done in the past and what we can do today with our friends over at Americans for Prosperity and TakeOneSmallStep.com. All right, so what does this all mean as we talk about foreign policy? And I know for a lot of us, we're like, yeah, that's great, Andy, but we're going about our day, trying to put food on the table here on the home front, and we really don't want to focus on much of the foreign policy. Understand that, because that's been one concern by some is like, wait a second, I thought we were making America great. Why are we trying to make all these other nations great? And I will say that having some strong allies around the world definitely benefits us, and having one that's not a threat, that's growing the most amount of terrorist cells in the world, is probably a good thing for us to actually do. When Donald Trump says we are winning, we are winning. Did you hear that State of the Union this week?
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country.
I love it. We can't win no more. We can't win as much. What are you doing to us? And Donald Trump, no, you're going to keep on winning. It's typical gold Donald Trump, and I love it. By the way, speaking of this, and as we talk about why these progressives are so angry with the results in Iran and standing up for the people of Iran and for this revolution that's happening right before our eyes, when they refuse to stand for the question that Donald Trump asked, that was pitched perfectly, that said, do you represent the Americans or do you represent illegal aliens in this nation? There's been a response throughout the rest of this week of Democrats that have doubled down on that issue.
How was that speech last night?
It was long. It was a lot of theater.
It was a long speech.
It was long. Did you enjoy it?
No.
You weren't a big fan of that speech last night.
No.
You didn't stand for much.
No. We're also not there to perform.
The president asked Democrats to stand up if they prioritize American citizens over illegal aliens. Did you stand?
I didn't stand. It was a gotcha question.
And he got you.
No, he didn't get me.
No Democrat did, because of the way he was framing it.
The gimmick was a little cheap.
You didn't want to show the American people that you'd stand?
I show the American people where I stand every day.
What is your first responsibility, protecting American citizens or illegal aliens?
I'm just getting ready for hearing. Thank you.
What is your first priority, illegal immigrants or American citizens?
Nada. Nothing.
You don't want to tell the American people that you prioritize them first?
Dead silence.
Illegal aliens or American citizens?
We're not there to perform for this guy. It was a speech filled of a bunch of grievances.
Yeah, a bunch of grievances. That's all they said. Well, guess what? We have special elections coming up on Tuesday this next week, and what those grievances may look like is the fact that American people realize that we're there to stop people from dying, that we are focused on foreign policy, but we're focused on America first, and that Donald Trump fulfills what he promises, and I think people are going to resonate with that. I'm excited to see this is the first big test of 2026 as we go into midterm season, what these special elections may look like around the country coming up on Tuesday, and it all depends on voter turnout. We can either do really well or we may not. Lots more coming up for the show. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
Andy's latest product.
The Hispanic community is radically diverse in the United States. Some would say as unique and diverse as the food they eat.
The diversity of this community, as distinct as the Bogotas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio.
And now you can enjoy the flavor and diversity that every member of the Hispanic community gets to enjoy every single day. Jill Biden's very all-new breakfast taco special from the Voice of Reason.
Hola amigos, I'm Adan, your Jill Biden breakfast taco. Now you too can enjoy the unique, diverse flavors of Mexico and Latin American with me.
Adon the breakfast taco has everything a growing boy, girl, undecided, or other may need.
Start off with a thick layer of potato seasoned with fresh and delicate spices of Mexico and cook to perfection.
The potatoes show not only are we tough on the outside, but soft and lovable on the inside.
Next, enjoy the 2 large huevos. No breakfast taco is complete without our famous huevos. They are there for all to enjoy.
What comes next in the delicacies is the true sign of diversity and uniqueness in the culture, as there are just too many options.
Chicken, carne asada, chorizo, pork, bacon, vegetarian, the choices are endless. We have a flavor for everyone, but you won't know if you like it until you try it, and we like it all.
Finally, your Jill Biden Adon breakfast taco is always personalized for you with the special, unique, and diverse toppings only found in the ever-expanding diverse culture of Latin America.
Top me off with your favorite great-tasting cheese, sour cream, or gravy. But don't forget, what sets your breakfast taco apart from any other breakfast taco is a little spice.
Forget the salsa from the supermarket. It's time to do the real spicy direct from Mexico with the slices of jalapeno, habanero, or red chilies. Plus top all off with your favorite Valentina or Tapatio.
Show off your unique diversity with your very own Jill Biden breakfast burrito from the Voice of Reason. Order now and multiply your diversity with 2 Jill Biden breakfast tacos, all for the price of 1. It's the Voice of Reason's Jill Biden breakfast taco. Are you diverse enough? Coming to a restaurant near you.
Ándale, ándale.
Andy's latest product. Find more products from the Voice of Reason online at HooserReason.com. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Are you still battling COVID-19? Wanting to find ways to limit your exposure to viruses that kill off humanity?
Oh, the humanity.
Now you can. It's time for you to get the all-new Voice of Reason product, the CDC Rona Fan. The CDC Rona Fan is not like your everyday ordinary fan. The CDC Rona Fan is the latest in technology that uses the unique and original purification process called the Breath of Fauci. And it's simple to use.
Oh my gosh, I just got my CDC Rona Fan and it's perfect. I can feel the COVID particles disintegrating out of the air in my home. And even though it's wintertime, I just open my window wide open, I'll slide my CDC Rona Fan right in, crank it up to full blast, and now I can have as many people over for the holidays as I want. And I'll never have to worry about transferring the virus to anybody. Just feeling the chill in the air, I know now that I'll never get sick again. Thanks, Rona Fan.
The CDC Rona Fan kills the Ronavirus at the same rate of any immunity your body can build. And it comes in all shapes and sizes to best fit your preferred personal identity and housing decor.
My mommy and daddy got the Fauci fan yesterday. They opened up all the windows of the house and put the fan in every one of them. They said it would make me nice and healthy. I can't feel my toes because it's so cold now, but they told me now that the Donald Trump virus won't kill me. They must be right when they tell me to listen to the government and do everything that they tell me to.
Order now and for a limited time, get an additional CDC Rona Fan half off. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you'll also receive the CDC-approved Fauci bobblehead. Scare off deadly viruses just by placing your Fauci totem in each room. Battle the Rona with freedom and Fauci-controlled options with your Voice of Reason CDC Rona Fan.
When reason meets radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into it. It is The Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser. Great to have you along for the ride as usual. So, State of the Union this past week, super interesting. A lot of different topics being covered. But one of those issues that was kind of floated out there included the public education system, children, mental health issues, and a heck of a lot more. How in the world are Democrats still somewhat relevant on these issues? And that's where we go to with our next guest on the program.
Let's go to the Hoosier Media Hotline.
Really happy to have back on the show Ben a little bit. He's author of the book, The Polarization Myth, America's Surprising Consensus on Race, Schools, and Sex. Really happy to have on here Mr. Jonathan Butcher. John, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you jumping back on the show with us here. Let's talk about one of the most fascinating points of the entire State of the Union last week was when Donald Trump mentioned the transgender issue. He brought that guest to the program and was discussing the fact that the public education system forcing kids to want to do these transitions, confusing them, creating these mental health problems. And when he said that we need to ban all of this from happening, Democrats absolutely silent. They refuse to stand up for the issue whatsoever. John, we've talked before and talked about how the majority of Americans find this to be an absurd issue. Why in the world are we seeing them dig their heels in the sand on this particular issue?
Yeah, I don't understand that because when it comes to polling, there's a clear majority that does not want boys to have access to girls' private spaces, to be playing on girls' sports teams. In fact, there are polls, not just from the survey I did for my book, but also Gallup and others that show that Americans believe there are two sexes, right, two genders, and they are opposed to the idea of people changing or attempting to change their sex or gender. Obviously, you can never change your sex, but gender, of course, is this. It's a manifestation, right? It's an idea. It's something you can choose, and those that favor this idea think that's a benefit, right? They think that's somehow a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very strange. I don't really understand it, but yet they continue to push this, and we've talked about the history of why they've started to do this, but trying to break up the family unit. But like you said, most Americans, they don't agree. They think it's a little silly. It's a non-issue. We've unfortunately had to address it on the national front, but the Democrats continue to just make it issue number one. And in fact, to the point now, we've seen Gavin Newsom, as he tries to mount his presidential campaign for 2028, has admitted that Democrats need to get away from social issues. So maybe they're starting to realize that they're on the losing end of this thing.
Well, that's good. I mean, look, the surveys have been clear, not just on this, quote, gender issue, but also on issues related to race. Americans don't like the idea that racial preferences would be used for college admissions, in promotions and hiring. And that, of course, is tied to this whole gender discussion because both radical racial issues as well as radical gender issues, they both trace their way back to what is known as critical theory, which is a clearly atheistic view of the world that is also not interested in family formation or individual liberty for that matter. In fact, they're very suspicious of rights. So both of those ideas, right, of this radical racial notion as well as the radical gender notion can be traced back to the same kind of philosophy. So, for the left to base so much of their position on this, I think is not reflecting what Americans want around the country.
Yeah, in your mind, do you think we're doing a good enough job getting rid of this type of ideology out of the public school system? We're trying to, under Trump administration, trying to get rid of Project 1619, trying to remove identity politics and DEI out of both K through 12 and higher education, but they seem to be pushing back quite a bit, especially in those higher education institutions. Why do you think they're holding on to it so desperately?
So the president's executive orders on this issue through 2025, I think, provided the kind of support for what was already happening in the states. I mean, look, state lawmakers around the country, starting with Florida and Texas and beyond, have adopted proposals that would, prohibit the teaching of the, quote, gender idea in K through 12. They have adopted resolutions or otherwise passed legislation to prohibit the use of taxpayer spending on DEI in higher education. So the states have been active here. And, we're talking not just a few. I mean, we're getting close to half or more on some of these issues where state lawmakers have really taken the lead. So the president's support, I think, is a valuable reflection of the position that Americans are taking on this issue.
Yeah, a lot of the mandates come down from the federal government. Obviously, I mean, under the Biden administration, we saw a lot of different education mandates on exactly what we wanted to see taught, what we wanted to see in the curriculum. Are we going to see, John, the end of the Federal Department of Education? We've teased about wanting to dismantle it. We've already downsized it dramatically when it comes to size, trying to put things back down to the statewide level and put different responsibilities to different government agencies. But in your opinion, will we ever actually see the dismantling fully and closure of the Federal Department of Education?
Well, I'm optimistic, especially after this week. There was another announcement that there was an interagency agreement between the Department of Education and the Department of State and also the Department of Health and Human Services. So that sounds like a whole lot of federal gobbledygook to most people, but the point is that the Education Department has an agreement with other offices in the executive branch to begin to partner operating some key programs. That means that when the Department of Education is closed or when Congress decides to consider unraveling the Department of Education from federal law, they can have confidence that other departments are already operating on these programs. They're already begin to implement these programs that we believe should remain. Now, remember, not all programs that the Department of Ed are running right now need to stay, right? And so I think that these programs that are important, so for example, tracking foreign spending on universities. We have the Chinese Communist Party investing in universities around the U.S., even in some cases attempting espionage with students at Stanford and University of Michigan. So that should remain, and that's now going to be shared with the Department of State. So if I was a federal lawmaker and I was thinking about what we want to see happen, right, in shutting down the Department of Ed, it should be a relief to know that they're already taking key steps to help to share these programs.
It's exciting. That is really good to know, and I was not aware of that. And the fact that most of the responsibility is coming back down to a statewide level, different state boards of education and different agencies at the federal level on, finances and student loans or whatever. It's funny because we always see what the priority is, which always seems to be money. I always like to use this example. When Betsy DeVos was running for the Department of Education chair under the first Trump administration, and during those Senate hearings for the confirmation, they weren't asking her about curriculum. They weren't asking her about how to get the quality of education better. They were asking her how she has the qualifications to manage a multi-billion-dollar bank account, because to them, it only cared about money. And that really kind of shows their priorities up there, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly does. And look, I think they may have gotten what they asked for because Secretary McMahon's background is in business, right? She has served on school boards as well. But what you need to shut down a big agency is a business mind that's prepared to wind down different operations like we were describing, share them with other federal agencies, and then ultimately close those programs that need to be closed. I mean, it's a sunsetting project is really what it is. To the Secretary's credit, Secretary McMahon's credit, she's traveling the states, going around the country. She's talking about civics education. She's putting a big focus on that. She's highlighting what states are doing to recognize America's 250th. So credit to Secretary McMahon for not only looking at this from a business side, but also being concerned about what is being taught.
Yeah, no, amen to that. She's been a rock star on that front across the board. We're talking with Jonathan Butcher. He's the author of The Polarization Myth, America's Surprising Consensus on Race, Schools, and Sex. Let's bring it down to what's actually happening in the classroom. Again, outside of the transgender issue, mental health of the young generation. I have never seen these levels and these numbers of mental health issues overall. I use this stat all the time that right now the level of anxiety of fifth graders, my daughter's in sixth grade now, of fifth graders in this nation, of the level of anxiety is at the same level of what people that were in psychiatric hospitals in the 1950s were at. That is a scary thought, John. How in the world do we have so much anxiety for the young generation, and what the heck's going on in public education classrooms that's leading to that type of behavior?
Yeah, it is very scary. Coming out of the COVID pandemic, there were announcements from doctors as well as medical associations that they were seeing levels of mental health reports that were quite alarming, right? It was higher than they had seen in a long, long time. I think a big part of it today we can attribute to screens. There is a real realization now, especially after a hearing that just happened about 2 weeks ago in Congress, where a doctor got up and said, look, this current generation of students is less cognitively prepared than the previous generation. And that's the first time that had happened, the first time that had been measured before. And so that really, I think, raised the eyebrows of some lawmakers as they think about making sure that cell phones are not being used in schools. And frankly, it should give everyone real caution as we sort of dive into this AI world. There's a lot we don't know about the effects of AI, especially about some of the Chat GPT and other language learning models that sort of draw you into a conversation and begin to affirm you.
Yeah.
And it's taking people to some scary places.
Yeah, it's taking people some scary places. We're seeing a lot of legislation now. Living in Kansas, where I'm at with my flagship, we're seeing the Kansas state legislature try to deal with artificial intelligence and even ban the therapy apps that are coming out from AI and banning other aspects of trying to create an emotional bond with users of artificial intelligence, which I never thought we'd have a conversation like this in society, but here we are. I know the Trump administration wants to kind of have some blanket regulatory guidelines at the federal level, but I mean, this is something that states, or at least someone, needs to start addressing pretty quickly, don't we?
Well, and some of the states are, like Florida and Utah, are looking very hard at this question around AI. And I think that what we will see from the states is the same thing that we've seen from school choice, same thing that we've seen from K-12 academic standards. For example, Mississippi's improvement in reading, that was a state-based project, not a federal project. We're going to see best practices that will then be shared from state to state, and that's what we need, right? Yeah. These 50 laboratories of democracy are going to be key to solving this issue of what to expect and how to protect children when it comes to AI. It's very important that this be done at the state level.
I love that. Yeah, the statewide level is where this needs to be. John, hang on the line. Got to take a break. It is Jonathan Butcher, author of the book Polarization Myth. We'll continue some more of this when we come back right around the corner for the Voice of Reason.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, DC's broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
When it comes to something like sausage, I know you want the best quality, the best flavor, and the best in services. Andy Hooser here for J&S Smoked Snacks. And it's time for you to try their handcrafted sausage, made in small batches for freshness and seasoned with their signature blends. You won't find anything else like it. Make sure to try their one-of-the-kind dill pickle sausage made with real pickles, or spice things up with my favorite, the jalapeno cheddar sausage. Taste the difference today at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
For more information, go to takeonesmallstep.com. Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
Talk radio for the next generation. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. We got one segment left, yours. We're wrapping things up for this hour of the Voice of Reason's Weekend Edition. Great conversation we're having right now with Jonathan Butcher. The Polarization Myth is his book. You can find it on Amazon, other places as well. John, we went into that break talking about the regulation of artificial intelligence and the oversight of AI, especially in the public education system, and the mental health problems that it's causing for young children. Look, I am one of those where my daughter, she's in 6th grade now, about ready to turn 12. Not the biggest fan, but she did get a cell phone. I wanted to hold off as long as possible. I know a lot of people don't want their kids sucked into screen time, obsessed with the screen time, obsessed with social media or going online, or not being able to actually entertain themselves in any other fashion other than being on a screen. At the same time, I always like to joke about this. We're seeing 3rd graders in Japan know how to build apps already, far more technologically advanced for the young generation on how to handle the technology as it continues to progress. So here's the question I have for you, John, is where's the happy medium? Where's the line here where we keep them away from becoming obsessed and addicted to the screen time, but also be able to compete on the global scale when it comes to technology as it progresses?
Well, remember, it's different when we're talking about AI in business. It's one thing to say that we can use AI to make businesses more efficient and to streamline different processes, to make businesses a better use of their money, of their budget, right? That's one thing, and that's something that we can teach students using technical education. Mm-hmm. That's different than education technology, right? Giving students screens, cell phones, laptops, that kind of thing. So I think that we should be careful about giving students technology in school. We should be more concerned about teaching them how to use different programs. And I think that you can do that. There is a distinction between the two. And I think that learning to use AI at age-appropriate levels, that is something that schools are going to need to be able to do. But it doesn't mean it should dominate the K-12 curriculum. And it doesn't mean that we should have young children doing it either, especially because AI is doing things for us, right? I mean, AI is creating the apps. We don't have to code anymore. We can just ask AI to do certain tasks. So as long as we can make students comfortable with that, I think that's a good preparation.
It's a really great point. I like that. We got a couple minutes left here, John. Let's shift gears to, like you mentioned before, the competition in the market. We're seeing a big push for open enrollment, for school choice across the country. The Trump administration, a really big fan of school choice and open enrollment. Here in Kansas, we finally allowed open enrollment for the first year, which is kind of exciting. Is that going to bring better competition? And when it comes to the mental health and the curriculum of children, is that what it's going to take take here to start raising that standard and raising quality and not have these kids that are emotionally distraught constantly?
Well, I mean, look, the idea of competition between schools is a valuable one, and it's one that we've used, taken from the business community. We don't want any losers, though, when it comes to education. We don't want any student to be on the losing end.
Yeah.
What we do want is every child to have the option to attend the school of their choosing, or to be how and where they are educated should be up to the parents and the child. That's what we want. Every child should be a winner. And so that's why open enrollment programs, charter school laws that allow every child to apply for a charter school, education savings accounts that allow every child to apply for a scholarship. These are the kinds of programs that we should be looking for in the next generation. I mean, this is what the future is going to hold for education reform. It should be programs that are inclusive, right? We want to get that word, inclusivity, we want it back from the left, right? Yeah. They stole it for DEI, and we want it back to say that every child deserves a chance at a great learning option.
Yeah, and the exciting part about it is that, tying this back to your book with the polarization myth, that the consensus overall from the average American out there is that all of these solutions, all of these ideas are common practice and common sense for most Americans on either side of the aisle, just wanting to have a little bit more oversight on what's going on with their kids' education system, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And look, and the surveys show that parents are not happy with what's going on with the K-12 system at large, okay? However, surveys of school choice, asking parents if they favor allowing or choosing how and where their children learn, there is significant support and has been for years, okay? And so I think that is a very popular policy solution.
I love it. The polarization myth, America's surprising consensus on race at schools and sex. John, we got to get you back on and talk more about this again soon. I'm optimistic that we're moving in the right direction. Got to keep that momentum up. Let's get you back on and do it again soon, brother.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, appreciate him very much. Great conversation. And the future of the young generation is a tricky one because we have technology, but yet we want to keep them grounded. I want my daughter to know how to build an app and use technology, but also know how to go out into the woods and survive in case, well, technology's no longer around, which I know is a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory for many, but for others, it's just kind of common practice to know how to raise a family, take care of the household, and do it without any type of technology. Very controversial in today's times. We'll talk more about that later, but we are out of time for this hour. As usual, be your own voice of reason. Be that catalyst for change. It is the Voice of Reason. My name's Andy Hooser. We'll see you back on the radio before you know it. Bye.
Well, all right. You think we should do it again next week?
Boom, I think
so.
We should do it all over again.
I get off the air every day.
Well, all right. I think we will then.
Good
Censorship
times, I appreciate
and
it as always. That seemed like it went pretty well. So,
so
yeah, we'll continue to make it happen.
Yeah.
Say that the Hoosier.
All right. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
To catch the voice.
All right. Take care.
Yep.
With other great shows and podcasts.